Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to FALLMAS. It is a busy day today that I will tell you a little bit more about when I have a little bit more time because we are in a bit of a rush this morning, potentially. I will go into why it's potentially a rush and not like definitely a rush. But I have my glucose test again today. After the failed scheduling attempt that we had the first time, we are trying again at a different location. So I am just getting ready for that. It is about 7:45 in the morning right now, and my appointment is at 9:30. So technically I shouldn't be in a rush right now. But Noah brought up to me that he thought that the lab goes on the phlebotomist's schedule, which means that the appointment time would be when they draw your blood, which happens at the end of the test. So now I'm like doubting myself because I don't know if I'm supposed to get there actually closer to 8:30. So I don't know what exactly I'm doing. I tried to call and clarify and nobody picked up, so I left a message. But I figure what I'll do is I will just do my morning routine as long as that takes, and then I will just head over there and see what is what. Basically, it's a little bit more difficult because while this is not like the furthest location, it's not the location closest to my house. It's in the same county that I live in, but it's like 20 minutes probably from my house. So I am kind of committing to making a drive out there and then possibly back. But my obstetrician told me that for the 1 hour test, you don't really change much about what you eat. Like, don't go on the diet beforehand or anything to try to artificially bring your blood sugar down, because if there's a problem, they want to actually know about it. They don't want you to just pass the test that day. But she did say that I shouldn't eat like a sugary breakfast the day of, because that could spike my blood sugar right before I'm trying to take a test to measure my blood sugar, which wouldn't be good. So I made some scrambled eggs and avocado for breakfast. I figured that's not sugary. And then she didn't say anything about caffeine. I probably could still have caffeine, but I am a little bit unenthused about this test because it involves drinking something. And historically, in the past, when I've had to do a test that involves eating or drinking something, I tend to not feel good afterwards. So, like, I have a little bit of stress about doing this test. And I was worried that, like, if I had caffeine, it might amplify the feeling of stress, and I wanted to feel calm. So I made some peppermint tea because I thought that would just calm me down. And I can always caffeinate later if I want to, because it is going to be a bit of a long day. But for now, I think it'll probably be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through my morning routine, and then as soon as that's over, if they haven't called me back, I'll just leave whenever that is, and I'll go to the office and just see what they say. Good girl. Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Charleston, South Carolina, where I am on vacation for most of this week. I wanted to just quickly recap you on the rest of my day so far because it got a little bit hectic there, and so I didn't have time to update you at any point before this moment. So last we left off, I was headed out to get my gestational diabetes test, which I did successfully do, so that's very exciting, but it was definitely kind of cutting it close there for a while. I had an appointment for 9:30, and I never received a call back about whether I should show up earlier, so I showed up about 10 minutes early and checked in, and it turned out that they were running super behind. I ended up getting back to drink the drink about 30 minutes later than my appointment time, so that was obviously not ideal. It was basically, I said to myself that if I hadn't had the drink by 10 a.m., I was just going to have to leave and come back another time because I wasn't going to have enough time to catch my flight, and they ended up calling me back at 9:56, so really like cutting it close. And so I had the drink, and it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, so that was fantastic news. And then I had to wait an hour before they could draw my blood. So I went back, and I started out sitting down, but it was a super full waiting room. They ended up having about twice as many people in the waiting room as they had chairs to sit them in. So I ended up standing, and then I think I stayed standing the rest of the time because the only time I was really feeling side effects from drinking the glucose drink was when I changed positions. If I stayed standing or stayed sitting, I was okay. But I noticed at one point they accidentally called my name again because they put my sheet in the wrong pile, so they tried to call me back for my blood draw when it had only been 30 minutes. And so I got up to talk to them about it. And for probably about 5 minutes after that, there was like this flickering in my vision, which I think was just like stuff happening from the glucose drink. So knowing that like I didn't want to have to keep standing up and sitting down to offer my seat to people and things like that, I opted to just stand up for the last 30 minutes of the hour, especially since I was going to be sitting on the plane and everything anyway, and I was feeling fine. So I did that, and then I came right back after the hour, and they drew my blood, and that was super easy. And unfortunately, that meant I did not have time to go to one of my favorite places for lunch, which was supposed to be my reward for getting through the glucose test. But that's okay. I just drove straight to the airport and was feeling very rushed because the flight was boarding at about 12:30, and I got to the airport at around 12. So was definitely feeling like we were cutting it close. So it was about 12:10, 12:15 by the time the shuttle dropped me off at the terminal. Luckily, I have TSA pre-check, so I blazed through security, and my terminal was just right there outside of security. I had to go to the end of the terminal to get to my gate, but that was fine. I had time to do everything that I wanted to do before I got on the plane, and I ended up getting to the gate right as we were boarding. But then it was a quick trip. It was only about, actually less than an hour and a half to get to Charleston from where I was, and so I am already very excited. I'm staying here at a Hampton Inn, which is my favorite hotel to stay at. You know, it might not be the fanciest boutique hotel, but I always know what to expect. I always know it's going to be comfortable. It has a pool, it has a fitness center, it has all the amenities that I could want, and it is right smack in the middle of downtown, so I can get anywhere that I want to go. So I'm going to try to take it easy this afternoon. I have a couple things on the list that are close by, but we'll see if I get to any of them. I will soon be finding something to eat. I did have some stuff to eat while I was at the airport, but I didn't want to go and find a solid lunch while I was here because I'm having an early dinner. Since I do, grad school is going to be grad school. I do still have class tonight on Zoom. So because class is at 6, I'm going to be having an early dinner tonight. So I'm just going to kind of wander around. I might get some ice cream. I might do some shopping. We'll see what happens. I am hoping to go to the pool a whole bunch of times while I am here, but I don't know if I will go today. Again, we'll see what happens. So I'm excited for you all to come along with me to Charleston, South Carolina. Because we're doing FALLMAS, you'll see every single day of my trip. And I have a ton of fun stuff planned, and I'm really excited to show it to you.